What's in your mind, powered by SchwannCadillac.com. I'm Steve Bakken on KFYR 550, 99.7 FM in Bismarck and Mandan. It is What's on Your Mind. We are on the road today, broadcasting live from the North Dakota Petroleum Council in Medora, North Dakota. And kind of our first show here, joining me on the program, Tim Fisher. Tim, welcome to the program, and you and I are actually going to be doing an energy show every other Tuesday for a while here on KFYR 550. So I think it's important to preface this with the fact that there's so much going on out here in oil country, and being that we're here, we're out west, we can see firsthand some of the things that are taking place. And that leads into what we're going to be doing over the next couple of weeks as we're going to be moving forward on Tuesday afternoons on KFYR 550 and 99.7 FM in Bismarck and Mandan. You were out here yesterday, Tim, and you had an opportunity to mingle with a lot of people. This is really one of the premier energy conferences what the North Dakota Petroleum Council puts on here in Medora. It's a testament to how important the oil relations are in the state of North Dakota. We do have so many pieces to this puzzle. Right now, Mayor Ward Kozer of Williston's up speaking and being presented an award with some of the work that he's done trying to get a grasp on the oil for his community up in Williston. I had a chance to talk to him a little bit earlier, and we've had him on the show quite a few times. Ward's really one of those people that gets a grasp of what's going on in oil country, and it's pretty amazing what that community has had to deal with. You see firsthand, you're out in oil country all the time. You were here yesterday. What were some of your impressions of what's going on at the oil conference?
Well, first of all, I'm very excited to be on the radio with you on a regular basis. And little shout from the background there. That's the way I feel internally. What I see, what has changed in the last 3 years, is the oil groups are really working as teams. When it first started taking off, it seemed like we were a little bit discombobulated. But now, with the work of the North Dakota Oil Association, we get to recognize faces. We see this. We're starting to see the same people. We're understanding the same goals. Later on, when we're going to be talking with people involved in the regulatory systems that are out, that are advocates for us, everyone's pulling in the same direction. And what I see is an organized industry. That's a lot different than it was 3 years ago. Even driving down the roads, the amount of infrastructure that has been produced.
Tim, even when I got out here almost a year ago now and started seeing what was going on in oil country, it's changed so much in just that last year. But you're right about the component that I think it used to be a lot of different pieces coming together and working, doing their own thing. A lot of the different entities here, the oil companies, the support companies, the government affairs, they're all working in harmony now because they realize that things will get done much smoother, much quicker, and in a much more efficient way if everybody's on the same page.
Right, and this is not the first time that the oil companies have been involved in a boom. It's not the first time that they've discovered oil. They've done this down in the Texas area. So really it was about us, the suppliers, catching up and understanding the programs that they're putting together. And it's very, very professional. It's an honor to be involved in this group. And if you were to walk out right now where the 500 people are sitting listening to the speaker up front, that you'll see that Continental Resources is sitting right next to Alliance Pipeline, that is sitting right next to the Enbridge people, that are sitting next to the Kodiak, who are sitting next to the ExxonMobil. So everyone out here is a team. Granted, we all have a job to do, but we are working together, as well as the officials from North Dakota and the surrounding states.
Well, Tim Fisher joining me from BESS Energy Services, Bakken Energy Services. BESS, a company that we'll get into more depth here, and their part in the oil patch as well. But our first guest, and we've got a lot of guests lined up for you this afternoon. I'm thinking it's going to make for a pretty interesting show. Joining us, Blue Halsey from Continental Resources. Blue, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Give us a little overview. Now, your title is Director of Government Affairs. That is so key to what's going on here in North Dakota. From an infrastructure standpoint, from just the residents that are dealing with what is going on in the oil patch and having to work with a lot of those government entities. Give us a little overview of what your job description is and how you help a lot of those government entities within the oil patch.
Well, as you know, the industry, our industry, is very heavily regulated, and we're involved in all aspects of that regulation. from state to local road issues to whatever is whatever issues that we're dealing with today. And it's been a fantastic time up here in Medora to talk with our policymakers and getting a chance to hear the governor this morning talk about infrastructure dollars, $2.5 billion over the next biennium is the proposal, and, which is just a staggering amount when you talk about roads and the way that this is going to change the everyday life in North Dakota. We're just excited to be part of it and work with those agencies and work with the governor, work with NDIC to just be part of the team, the regulatory team that is regulating oil and gas in the state.
What are some of the biggest challenges you've seen working with some of these government agencies and coming together to try to move forward in an equitable way and a way that doesn't impact the lives of a lot of citizens in the state of North Dakota?
You know, I think to begin with, the volume was fairly high when you talked about just stuff to do. And, you know, you've got to give an extreme amount of credit to the state agencies and their ability to really deal with these issues that are coming with them, drinking out of the fire hose. We've got some wonderful state regulators, some wonderful state policy directors. Our governor's done a great job. And we know that there's certain struggles and everybody's catching up, but I think it's really done a good job. We've got the BLM out there also working and have had some catch up in some of their permitting that they've done, but we've just worked together as a whole.
One thing that you mentioned about the funds of $2.5 billion, we talk a lot about roads, but one thing that really impacts the entire state is the amount of money available now to help in the flood control. The amount of money that's going to be in the Fargo-Moorhead area that's now available through the taxes that are paid by Continental Resources. So this affects the entire state, and the roads are part of it. But the watershed control is a major part that could save billions of dollars inside the state of North Dakota and the surrounding areas.
You know, that infrastructure dollars, they're really truly going to be long-term projects that are going to change the way North Dakota looks for the next 50, 100 years. I mean, I think it's really some of the things that are proposed. It's really it's a unique time in this wonderful state's history to be part of the upcoming growth that's going to happen up here.
Well, we heard from the governor this morning, and of course the announcement came out in the press release, the huge budget overage that wasn't expected, and that's going to continue to increase. As we heard from the governor this morning, you know, the sky's the limit, really.
Well, you know, your production continues to increase. Right now you're at about 600,000 barrels a day, and that's only going to go up. The last projections were 2 million barrels a day by 2020. That was a Bentech study that came out a few months ago. So, you know, you think of the growth potential up here, and really, as far as rig development and pad drilling and the concentration of what that's going to bring, it's going to be it's a great time to be in North Dakota.
On the regulation side, what would you love to see the federal government do to work more closely with you or allow more closeness amongst the corporations, or is that going on right now?
You know, I think one of the issues that we push for on the federal side is just let the states control their own development. We think that the folks in the state know how to do the regulation. It's their land, it's their water. We like the, you know, I think nobody knows this state better than Lynn Helms. A bureaucrat in D.C. doesn't, so we like to keep regulation local, and that includes hydraulic fracturing, and you know, we work well. I think the local NDIC has done a pretty good job of regulating our industry.
Harold Ham, first person to go out there and prove that fracking technology. The fracking technology continues to improve. On the improvement side, I know that you're working with the EPA, and I would assume that on the regulation side, you're trying to come up with better, faster, safer ways. I know it's safe right now, but as far as what are the concerns that are out there that should not be concerns that you hear on a regular basis?
Well, you know, I mean, when we talk hydraulic fracturing, we're so far under, we're 10,000 feet below ground, and that's there are certain things that we need to do right, and we've worked with NDIC in talking about those issues. That as an industry, we need to make sure that we're looking at better ways to do things constantly. And I think that's happening as growth and you know, as any field matures, they're going to be able to get to those resources better, faster. I mean, you know, a few years ago, your pad development wasn't nearly what it is up here now. So you're putting a lot of wells on. Your surface damages are much less. It's really, you know, this is a world-class field,
right?
And it's you know, it's going to be a centerpiece.
As a feet on the street with Bakken Energy Service, with 33 different companies that are part of our group, we're on those paths. We are watching what goes on when that casing is going down and that concrete is being pumped. We know what I would ask is that one of the goals for us is to get the story out about how safe it really is, because I had mentioned before, when it comes to the oil companies, the three most important areas of safety, safety, safety. Safety for the individuals that are out there, and safety for the environment, and anything that we can do to help get that true story out. You know, we're here to help.
You bet.
What's on your mind? Powered by SchwannCadillac.com. My co-host Tim Fisher, Best Bakken Energy Services, and joining us, Blue Halsey of Continental Resources. Thanks for coming on the program.
You bet. Thank you guys for having me.
We are broadcasting live from the North Dakota Petroleum Council in Medora, their annual meeting. It's What's on Your Mind, powered by SchwannCadillac.com. I'm Steve Bakken on KFYR 550.
That was good, man. That was from picking the turkey out of your teeth to the ears. Just boom, baby. It's like we're on fire.
Good. What's up?
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I'm here now. Are you?
Very.
Yeah,
By the way, you will always be the first guest in my life on the radio.
There you go. I thought I could outlive it.